Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 signs your crush doesn't like you. We all get crushes from time to time, but it's hard to know if your crush likes you back. It can be fairly simple to figure out if you're both really liking each other. But these are 10 signs you have to look out for that shows your crush isn't into you. Before we get started, click the link in the top right corner to subscribe to my new channel, The Crafty. Coming in at number 10, we have first. You may overlook this, as it wouldn't have been relevant 10 years ago, but this one really applies to the modern era. We used to have to awkwardly talk to our crushes in public if we wanted to speak to them. But now we can awkwardly talk to our crushes using our phones. But one thing you have to keep in mind regardless of what you're texting or Snapchatting about is who goes first. What I mean by that is, are you always the first person to message them, then they reply, or is it sometimes the other way around? If they always message you first, then they probably have a crush on you. If it's a balance, then you have a good chance, but should rely on some other signs too. But if you always go first, then sorry, but they're likely not interested. After seeing some other signs, check back on your old messages to see if your crush is into you or not. Next up is let's get physical. This is a very telling sign to test if your crush likes you back or not. Let me ask you this, is your crush ever physical with you? I don't mean anything too crazy, but a simple touch on the shoulder or a hug can make or break a crush. Also, if your crush positions their feet away from you instead of facing you when you're talking to them, then this is a big sign they don't like you. And if you go to school, see if they ever choose to sit next to you or near you. Even if it's not right next to you, this can still be a good thing, as they may be shy and not wanting to come on too strong. If yes, then this is good, but if not, then they may be into somebody else more than you. Another thing to look out for is mirroring. If you scratch your arm or maybe turn to look at something, does your crush ever do the same thing? If so, this means they want to relate to you and open up to you. But if not, they're likely showing little interest in you and don't like you back. Next up is everyone else. This is a sign where you not only have to pay attention to your crush, which I'm sure you already do, but other people too. What you need to do is wait for when you and your crush are in a group setting. Or just as long as you can see your crush in a group, then you should be good. Then look at how they treat other people besides you. If they treat you like everyone else, then bad luck, as they're likely not into you. But if they speak to you in a softer tone than they do to other people, then this is a good sign. And of course, physical contact, as we've already looked at, is a huge factor to this as well. Next up is available. If you've ever had a crush, you'll know you'll change any plans you may have to be able to spend time with them no matter how inconvenient it may be. If you call or text your crush, do they ever seem to be available? If they text back within a few minutes and pick up all your calls, then this is a good sign. But if not, they probably have something or someone else on their mind. If they make excuses when you try and plan stuff with them and always seem super busy, then this is another very telling sign. Someone who really likes you would always find a way to spend time with you. So, how busy is your crush? If they're really busy, then this is not a good sign. And even if they really do have a busy schedule, they would still make time for you if they really liked you. Next up is hot pursuit. This one is another sign which can be related to texting your crush as well. Think about text conversations and in-person conversations you've had with your crush. Have they pursued and followed up everything you've said or not responded to something? If someone likes you, they'll hang on your every word and be intrigued about pretty much anything you have to say, no matter how simple it is. On the other hand, if your conversations are filled with pauses and awkward silences, then this is a very bad sign. If you always feel like you're the one driving the conversation forward, then they're likely not interested in you. This should be a balance for your crush to like you, so pay really close attention to this detail. Talking of details, coming up next is details. This sign is all about really analyzing the finer details. Does your crush remember things like your birthday, your dog's name, or your favorite food? If not, then they may not really care about the small details in your life and as a result may not like you back. If they can't keep a track of your plans and schedule too, this is another sign they're not into you. I'm not saying they have to go all stalker mode in order to like you, but I'm sure you remember some small details about your crush and this should be mutual. To test this out, mention things like your birthday, your pet's name, or even what you did on a certain day to see if they remember. If they seem like they have no idea what you're talking about, chances are they don't like you, at least not in that way. Next up is other people. This one is a biggie. That is, are there any people your crush seems very close to who aren't you? If your crush is looking at somebody in a certain way or laughing at all their jokes, this could mean they don't like you, but somebody else. And then you can make your evil plans to destroy them. Just kidding, but this is a super simple way to test if your crush is crushing on somebody else. First, be in a group setting with your crush and wait for the whole group to laugh. Scientifically, we look at the person we like the most first when laughing in a group. You should already be looking at your crush in that case, so pay attention to who they look at first. If they don't look at you but somebody else, then you know they're into them and not you. Next up is talking. This one sounds dumb, but you need to think about it. Does your crush seem like they're listening when you're talking? If someone has a crush on you, they would be interested about whatever you're saying. But if it feels like your crush is vacant during conversation, then they likely aren't into you. If they're not paying any attention and getting distracted by their phone or something happening around you, then this is another sign they don't want to talk. They could just be having one of those days, so don't panic. But if having regular conversations with them always seems like such a challenge, then it's time to move on. Don't worry, there's plenty more fish in the sea. But if you're not into fish, you can probably find a nice guy or girl instead. Next up, we have flirting. I'm going to call this sign the friend zone test. This is a question you may not have yet considered. How comfortable is your crush talking about other people in a flirty way around you? If your crush expresses interest in other people around you, chances are they see you more as a friend than a boyfriend or girlfriend. If somebody walks by and they say, "They're cute," or "Do you think I have a shot with them?" then chances are they're not into you. In some scenarios, this could just be your crush testing you to see if you find other people attractive. But most of the time, this means they're into other people and see you more as a friend than relationship material. Think back to past conversations like this with your crush and see if you've been friend-zoned. Next up is dating. This might be the most obvious one on this list, but it's still important and overlooked. Sometimes people date but aren't all in your face about it, and sometimes they might even be secretive about it. Is your crush always smiling at their phone but never showing you what they're doing? This could be them texting somebody they're in a relationship with. And if they're busy a lot, they could be spending time with their boyfriend or girlfriend. These tips are all good and you should look out for these signs. But remember, sometimes it's okay to just ask your crush if they're into you or not. You never know, you might get lucky. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the best sign your crush doesn't like you. And guys, as I mentioned before, be sure to head over to my new channel, The Crafty. There's some absolutely amazing videos, and if you comment saying you subscribe, you'll be shouted out at the end of the next top 10s video. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.